Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's so much sunshine today till I'm having fun. And this show is going to be kind of dedicated to to Mother's Day. Our Mother's Day is coming up here real soon, and I had a little issue with technology, but that's my issue, and I'm on, and it's all good. It wasn't the station the issue; it was mine. So anyway, I haven't had Mr. Ryan on in a while, so he's going to come on, and then after a while, after that we should have Reverend Patricia and Dr. Orisiade and Linda Battles on. And so, how you doing, Mr. Ryan? Been a while.
I'm doing fine, Reverend Walden, and I'm sitting down here looking at Lake Washington.
All right.
I'm hoping the sun come all the way out. As the clouds seem like they're moving in, so that's at the south end, down here by Mount Baker Beach.
Well, y'all get discriminated against, okay? Because I got sun over here.
Yeah, well, it's strange because it could be raining in the CD and the sun be shining in Renton.
Oh yeah,
and so it's just one of those things. But things are warming up, which is good. It was kind of chilly earlier this morning and yesterday, but things are getting better. But a lot of things happening. I drove by the Powell Barnett Park a little while ago.
Oh yeah,
and,
yes,
yeah. They have the asylum seekers there, and I noted that Maisha Barnett, the granddaughter of Powell Barnett, whom the park is named for, had put out I guess they had a press conference today, and I guess she's just asking that about the health concerns and other issues. I haven't talked with her yet. I intend on talking to her to find out what's going on.
Right.
But it's from my understanding that primarily of the asylum seekers are from Africa.
Well, yeah, and Seattle is an asylum. They made themselves a sanctuary city about 25 or 30 years ago, or something like that. It's been a while.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And so, and you know that the guy down in Florida that called it, the governor. I'm going to be always respectful. The governor was sending these people from Florida and Texas. They were sending them to the states where they had that was a sanctuary city. So. They might have been,
and primarily where there were black mayors, except for Martha's Vineyard, but that was the other aim, that they had black and mayors of color is who they targeted. But the thing about it is just a shame that they, instead of trying to resolve the situation, making it out of a political issue, I think it's kind of ridiculous. But I was driving downtown, down Third Avenue, and I tell you. All the money that this country has, all the money that we send around the world, I don't care what the issues are with the people on the streets, but this country has enough money to house those people. That's all there is to it. And for why...
you got to find some places to hire, yeah, you're right about that. But also...
I'm just saying, and then living in Renton, it's a humbling experience because I see people who really need some psychiatric help, other people who are homeless. And I just think that the billions of dollars that we send around the world, we need to start sending to these inner cities and places to have housing. That can be done.
Mr. White, do you know we've almost spent $1 billion here in Seattle since Greg Nichols on the housing situation, and people keep taxing themselves? So the local people, look at all the money that has gone with no accountability. It seems to me that we need an audit of all the housing money that's been spent here in Seattle since Greg Nichols. It's been billions, millions of dollars, but what's the return on it?
Yeah, well, also we get our return when we send billions of dollars around the world is just goodwill.
Well,
these are people who are in need.
This is Seattle's money right here. This taxpayer, this is Seattle's dollars that people voted on those levies to fix this issue, and we never had a full accounting of all the money and all the programs.
But you got to look at the number of people who are seeking asylum from 20 years ago to today. It's been, just really tremendous. And, you mentioned earlier in the conversation about Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott, the mayor of Texas, and the mayor of Florida sending these people around, and they're from everywhere. And I know that in Venezuela, but I guess I'm still kind of at a quagmire, really at odds with why some of the folks who are most effective, who are impacted, and their populations are being impacted, say they're going to vote for the Republicans. I'm just at a loss. So maybe it's something I don't understand. But if you got one candidate talking about he's going to send 11 million people back somewhere and build a wall, and then you have a sizable number of people in that community still supporting him. But then again, the young people are turned off with the way the administration is handling this thing with Israel. They're turned off, and I think the last numbers I saw that the young people between 18 and 34, 81% was opposed to what the Biden administration was doing with Israel, and it got built. It's 34 to 55. It was like 64%, and then when you got up to my age group, it was about 55%. But it's almost like the abortion issue. 80% favor abortion, but yet people are still voting for people who are going to oppress them and not deny them their rights. Even after the Hollywood that Hollywood tape came out in 2016, 53% of white women still voted for Trump after what he said. And now we're hearing about the cover up and everything else that would have came out during that time, and the folks were paid. And the race is still neck and neck. And he's already said what he's going to do. He's going to deport 11 million people, send the National Guard to the Black community. And so that's what you got to look forward to.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's what the people need, Mr. Wright. I mean, we can talk all we want to. I mean, sometimes people have to have the lived experience, and the lived experience. The young people are turned off, and I understand it. War is really, this is the end of the patriarchy. This is the end of this system here, because the way that this is right now is that nobody knows the answer, because we all talking. I mean, nobody knows the answer. I mean, if you sign these treaties, you got a treaty with Israel. I mean, and so you got a treaty over there with Taiwan. I mean, look at all these treaties around the world before these young people. Some of these treaties, been since 1948, right after World War II.
Absolutely right.
I mean, and you got a treaty over there with the Philippines. I mean, look at all these places, and so we're almost duty bound. Although it was horrible, because what Israel did is they kept it going on, and they didn't care that most of the people in that country are Coptic Christians. They're not even Muslims, and that's what the Western world. That piece has been taken away because all the news is not getting out. But most of the people in the country, that they were there on that land for 2,000 years before any of this stuff got going on, and they lived in
1948. Israel became a country in 1948.
Well,
and the Palestinian people have been there for thousands of years.
2,000 years they were on the land.
Yes, indeed. And if you look at Gaza right now, all the housing is destroyed.
Well, yeah.
So the people wouldn't have anywhere to return. And I think that's Netanyahu's whole thing.
They want the land. I mean, these are people that we don't want to tell the truth about. These are Zionists. A lot of the people converted in the 7th and 8th century, and these are Zionists. And so, but we're the voice of reason in Israel. They can't get it out. I mean, I'm hearing from my granddaughter, who listened to this stuff in real time, says it's many people there who actually went through the Holocaust and is opposed to what the government is doing, but they don't have a big voice right now. So this is genocide. The same thing.
This genocide. That's the appropriate name. It is genocide. Anytime you're bombing them and then starving them, I mean, what else can you call it?
Well, it is genocide. It is genocide, and the hatred. I mean, there's no winners at war. It's going to be, all it is hate. And it's time out for that. And there's no scripture in the world that says you need to do this. And so they're not. It's not any. It's not one. And so anyway, we can it's a great discussion. But my show today is going to be dedicated to mothers. So
that's good. I'm glad you said that, because I want to do a dedication to my mother.
All this other stuff, it was there when we were born, and it might be there when we die. So.
You're right about that, Reverend Harriet. But anyway, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you. And my mother departed a few years ago, Myrtle McCall Rye, married to a Pullman porter named Eddie Rye Sr., who was always afraid to live by herself. We always had one of her younger brothers or my father's niece or somebody staying with her, because she had 5 kids back to back to back. And then my youngest brother came on a lot later, but she was in the workforce. She worked at Brockham's costume shop. She made some of the costumes for the folks in the opera and also for the plays. And she also was a quality control person. She was a shop steward at Boeing in her later years. I guess she probably looking down saying, I need to be a shop steward and inspection right now for Boeing. But anyway, we that's how we got out to Seattle. Was my father was one of the Northwest, appointed by A. Philip Randolph to be one of the Northwest organizers for the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. So with him being on the road so much, that's why we had other relatives when we were growing up until we got big enough to take care of ourselves. So Mom, Myrtle McCall Rye, I know you're up there. Happy Heavenly Mother's Day to you. And to you, Reverend Mary Wallen. And you did an outstanding job because your sons and grandkids are achievers and leaders, and they definitely followed your image. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you also, Mr. Wright. But one of the things that your mother and my grandmother, they were born almost in my grandmother was born in the turn of 2 centuries ago. Anybody coming out of the late 1800s raised their children to be different than they are being raised today. And I was raised by grandparents who were born in the late 1800s. So you have a different kind of life, I mean, because they want you to succeed. And so,
yeah. Well, I spent a little time with my mother's grandmother, who was born June 19th, 1863. We got pictures. When we went to family reunion, we took pictures of the headstones and stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. 1863.
Yeah. That's right. Yep.
Wow. So, wow. Well,
like I said, happy Mother's Day to you, and the proud mother of some accomplished sons. So
well, thank you so much, Mr. Rye. I don't know. My mother died when I was 2 years old, so I don't have that memory about my mother. Just my grandmother and the little on my mother's side. But thank you, and tell your lovely wife, who's the mother of your lovely children.
I sure will.
Tell everybody what your daughter's name is.
Angela Rye. And matter of fact, she check out Native Land Pod. Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, and Andrew Gillum are on every week. Native Land Pod.
All right. Well, then, thank you so much for being on Mother's Justice Show, and tell your lovely wife I said Happy Mother's Day to her.
All right, Reverend Harriet. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. We will be right back. Thank you.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Hey, all you insomniacs, third shifters, and fellow truckers, The Rick Smith Show has hit Seattle's alternative talk, 11:50 a.m. KKNW. Tune in every weeknight at 1 a.m., technically Tuesday through Saturday at 1 a.m., as we discuss politics, labor, and social justice from a working class perspective and provide insight you won't find anywhere else. The Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 1 a.m., only on 11:50 a.m. KKNW.
Be sure to support the sponsors of your favorite shows on Alternative Talk 1150.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Patricia. You were saying a prayer for me. I know you were. I mean, that's how you roll. So you be praying for me. That girl needs some prayer up in here. I need some prayer.
How you feeling?
I'm good. You done prayed me in, so I got this other one working. So, the one that I'm usually on when I'm not at the office, and I didn't get to go to the office today. So, this is my COVID one. Okay, when I was. Oh yeah, well today I want you're my first guest to hear, and Mr. Rye, he's a potpourri of a lot of ideas and a lot of but he did on the end remember his mother. That's what. So, and then his lovely wife. So this is good. So yeah, Mother's Day started out as a plea for this lady who started Mother's Day to end the war. It was about starting a day for mothers to protest against war. It's what Mother's Day is for. That's what it was. And then it got co-opted by Hallmark and other places. But if you study the history of Mother's Day, She was a rebel, and she was tired of the war. She was tired of war.
Ah, and so she started Mother's Day, huh?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did
Yeah.
that kind of help end it, at least on that day? Or
Well, I mean, and then it kind of went away. I think then it came back. I think her daughter might have taken it up, but it was interesting to when you go and look at it. Lonnie Nelson used to always remind us that it was about ending the war and living and how to live in peace, because it's the mother's sons who say they send the war. In those days, of course, it was just the mother's sons that they
I get
send the war. So
mhm.
yeah. So but anyway, so we want to give some time to talk about your mother. Yeah. So what was your mother's name?
Oh, you want me to talk about mother? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Mother's
is this is
name
your
was
time to talk
Helen.
about your lovely mother.
Yes. My mother's name was Helen. She's born Amy, and then she married my dad, and she became a Valentine. And she was one of 14 children.
Wow.
And my experience with her and her family was that she was very instrumental in driving them around and helping them take care of their uh, business, paperwork and those kinds of things. Um, but she was also the first person who had a little cafe in the little
Oh.
country that town that we grew up where I went to grammar school and stuff. And then she was always an entrepreneur. And if she didn't have her own business, she was running somebody else's. So
Isn't that amazing?
yeah,
It was
she's
in the blood, eh?
in the blood, very strong woman for sure. Yes. I
Yeah.
loved my mom so much. And she's a mother of four. I have a
Hmm.
sister. I had a sister and had two brothers. I have one left. So yeah, my dad he's gone too, but my mother was um mother to everybody, seemed like. When I was growing up, a lot of people wanted to come to Aunt Helen's house because we were there and she was there, and she was a good cook. All of my aunties, her sisters, and everything, they got that good cooking from my grandmother, who we always loved to go to grandmother's house.
Yeah. What was your favorite food?
Oh, I just everything. But my grandmother made fried chicken and pinto beans. And
Okay.
whenever you'd go to her house, she always had that. But my
Okay.
mother, she cooked a variety of everything.
Okay.
People would come in for conventions from our church, and they would always come to my mother's house to eat. And so she was deemed a very, very good cook for sure. So she cooked everything. She cooked
And so
everything.
she wound up having a cafe, eh? Your mother.
Uh-huh. Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Right. Isn't that amazing? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And was the
Yeah.
head
Oh.
cook for a white cafe across the highway from us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. So what's some of the greatest things that you have brought into your adult life and tried to impart it to your daughters? Because you're a daughter, you a girl mama. I'm a boy mama, but you a girl mama. So
Yes.
what was kind of some of those things that the girl mama, I mean, you could impart some of the things that your mother taught you because you have girls, and so it's a different raising than what you raise your boys with.
Yes, yes, I'm sure. But since I never had boys, I don't know about raising boys.
Right.
Mm. I have grandsons, and I'm
Right.
grateful for that. But their mother raised them, and so being a girl mother, and recognizing that when I left home, I didn't go back home. I left home
Okay.
and went to work. And actually, I lived with my sister who had already married and moved away from the little small town that we grew up in. And so I went to live with her and work in the beauty salon in Sacramento. So, unbeknownst to me, I don't really know that my whole intention was to raise my children in any particular way like my mom raised me, but I did because
Uh-huh.
that's what I knew.
Right.
And my mother was a disciplinarian as well as a very sweet, kind person. But when it came to her children, she definitely knew how to discipline us. And that's what we did. And that's what I did for my daughters. Um, so we had some conversations around that as they got older. I wanted to know from them, what did they need to say to me that they didn't feel comfortable doing? And I just opened it up to let them know that
Right.
you can say
Mm-hmm.
anything about our experience or your experience growing up that you would like to say to me. And I'll take it as it comes. You know, it might
Right.
not come land too easy, but I will
Mm-hmm.
just take it as it comes. So we had some pretty deep conversations around that. So I have two very independent children, and so is my grandchildren. Everybody takes care of themselves. Um, they've always worked hard and taken care of their own families and themselves. And so I think that all stemmed from my mother, and my mother's mother, my grandmother, she having 14 children, she didn't do much outside of the house. But
Cooking
she did,
clean, cooking
yes,
clean, cooking
cook and
clean.
clean.
No wonder
And
she had
she,
what is the pinto beans and the chicken. Yeah.
yeah, but she, she cooked everything. But I'm just
Right.
saying that was probably one of my favorites because
Mm-hmm.
she always had it. So whenever you go there, if you were hungry, that's what you got. But if you
Right.
waited for the meal to be fixed, then you got a variety of other things.
Okay.
She
Okay.
had
Yeah.
8 boys and 6 girls. So,
Wow.
you know, um, so she raised them boys and she took care of everything around the house while Papa was the bishop of the Coptic church as well as a farmer.
Right. And
And
what was raised on that farm?
uh mostly cotton.
Okay. Yeah, and tell people what area you're from, because this is going to be it's a podcast later on. So what what part of the country where you growing cotton at? Working picking
Yeah,
cotton.
I grew up in a little small town called Chowchilla. And Chowchilla is between Merced and Madera and Modesto and Fresno. So that's a little closer in for Merced and Madera, but a wider space north and south was Modesto and Fresno. And so, yeah, we grew cotton in our own backyard, and so did my grandparents. And when my mother wasn't farming our land, she was the manager for other people's white folks' land. And so she was like a contractor. She got the workers and put them to work, and she fed them and paid them and
And
paid
paid
them.
them.
Yes, they trusted her
Uh,
with the money to be able
yeah, isn't that
to pay
amazing
them
though?
because you got paid after every day. And
Wow. Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
you got
That
paid every day
and
because
how many acres did your family have?
yeah, we have 14 and a half acres. And of course we, had our home and we had fig trees and only part of our land, like I'd say maybe 10 acres were used for raising cotton. But my grandfather and them, I don't know exactly what the acreage was of their property, but it was quite,
Mm,
yeah,
wow. Wow, because I remember when you mentioned that the other days, really, on the West Coast?
I
I'm
know,
from the
right?
South, and it's like, oh yeah, well, we know we got some cotton down yonder.
I know, but yeah, dude, we picked a lot of cotton. We get out of school, high school, elementary school, it didn't matter. You get out of school and you went to the cotton field. You wanted
Wow.
anything new, you had to
Work
work
for it.
for it.
That's
Yes,
how it was for me too. I worked for everything. I really did. I worked for everything I had that I got in my life. I actually did work for that.
yes.
What was your favorite breakfast that your mother would fix for her beautiful daughter?
Smothered chicken, mashed
Okay.
potatoes, biscuits, bacon, eggs, honey,
Did she
jelly.
have, you all have bees? Did you have bees for honey?
No,
Okay.
I don't remember. No, we didn't have bees,
Okay.
but we did have honey because my
Okay.
daddy used to like to put honey in with his gravy. And I tried that one time and I almost threw up.
Oh, he must have from another
To
time.
me at all. And I think it almost took me away from liking honey. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can understand that, So
Yes, but that was my favorite breakfast, Mommy. If we had chicken, we had bacon. We always had bacon. And I was a pretty bacon girl when I came and got on my own as well. And
yeah,
just
okay.
stopped eating bacon a couple of years ago. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it sounds like you had a happy home. I mean, you told me once that your mother and father was determined that you all would be sisters, you would be brothers. I mean, you'd be family, and that Valentine's love would be what?
that's right. We could not we were not allowed to fight one another. That was not something that was tolerated at all. Lying and fighting was something that my dad did not allow. But he preached against lying, but we did our little bits and pieces of lying anyway.
Hey, it's hard not to lie when you're a
I
kid,
know, right?
Yeah, always pointing at the other finger. So,
But one
I
thing
think.
about my mother, she like when I say she was a disciplinarian, I was going to beauty school in Fresno, and I'd ride the Greyhound bus to Fresno and go to beauty school during the week and come home on the weekend. And one weekend I came home and I don't know about all the other weekends, but this one sure stood out for me. And I came home and I asked her, my cousin had started living with my mother, and she had said she was going out that night. And I asked my mother if I could go. And she said, no, I couldn't go. Well, I couldn't figure out how come I couldn't go because I mean, I'm just coming home from beauty school, so why not,
You grown.
Uh-huh, pretty much, I thought. And so I went anyway, but thinking that my mother worked in the cannery. So she'd leave at 9 at night, 8 or 9 at night, and she didn't get home until the next morning. So my cousin said, hey, Helen won't know if you go. Come on, we'll be back way before she comes back. So, of course, that's what I did. And mother knew that I went. So the next morning I get up to go back to school, and she says, where are you going? And I said, no, I'm gonna catch the bus out here on the freeway. And she said, oh no, you're grown now. She said, you're making your own decisions. Doing what you want to do. I thought I told you not to go out last night. And I said, yeah. So anyway, my mother gave me a spanking. I was 18 years old. My mother spanked my behind and told me that since you're grown and you're determined to live your life like you want to live it, you can go out to the cotton field and start making a living. Just go out there and pick your 200 pounds of cotton and don't come back here until you pick 200 pounds of cotton. That's after the whipping. So I got the whipping, went out to pick some cotton. Every day I had to pick 200 pounds of cotton. It was really hard too.
Yeah. We're gonna have to hurry up and get to the end of your story because we ran out of time for your segment. But tell me, did you capitulate?
It just turned out that I begged and pleaded and told her that I wasn't grown. I didn't want to be grown.
So
I
you
would not
capitulated.
disobey her ever again. So that really had a lot to do with me being a kind of a person I grew up to be.
Well, yeah, you know what? But I tell you, you're just a beautiful person. I'm so glad that you're in my life. And for true transparency, Reverend Patricia and I work together, doing some work together. Lynn, she's been a great assistant in helping me with the Virtuous Healing Circle. And we have some other work that we do together also. We pray together, so we pray together. Yeah, and that kind
We
of
roll
things. And
together. We do
we
a lot
roll
of things
together. We do
together.
a lot of things together. Well, I want to thank you for coming on my show today to talk about your mother. And we'll tell us your name one more time before we leave.
My mother's name is Helen Valentine.
Helen Valentine. Well,
Yes.
Thank you, Reverend Patricia Valentine.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Pleasure. Thanks for asking me to be on.
You're welcome so much. You've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
I'm okay. You're not okay. It's normal to have diarrhea and stomach pains. Sometimes, but not as often as you do. I've got this under control. No, you don't.
It's time to let that voice inside your head be heard. Urgent diarrhea and chronic stomach pain can be signs of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can help you learn more and even find a specialist. Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/1150kknw.
Oh, yeah. Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, from Walden. It's my joy to be on there. And I like that song, I'll Always Love My Mama. You know, it's like, yeah, mamas. And my next guest is Dr. Orisiade Awodola. She's going to come on and talk a little bit about her mother and why she thinks her mother is the best mother. You know, how we do this. You know, in the Black community, everybody say their mama is the best mama. So, hey, Dr. Orisiade, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me, Reverend Walden.
Oh, yeah. We'll start with your lovely mother's name.
My mother's name was Orisiade Lorraine Hicks Villavaso, and she is a native of New Orleans. My whole family comes from there, but I had one of the greatest mothers that you could think of. I mean, like all families, we grow up, you know, you have the family thing, but my mother, she taught me a lot about having values in terms of definitely keeping the tradition of Creole cooking alive. You know, she would say, you put a little this, put a little that in the gumbo.
I was gonna say, you know how to cook that thing called gumbo, eh?
That's right. And the thing about Mama is that I look at my grandchildren, especially my granddaughter. They measure everything. My mama never measured that. I said, well, how do you know what you put in that? Look, you know. I said, okay. And she used to always tell me this, keep living. And I had the blessing and honor to take care of her in her last 3 years of her life. She lived with me. And I learned so much about my mama. And, you know, we look at our mothers sometimes and say, oh, she did this or she did that. But we don't look at what mama experienced growing up.
That's right.
And then when I started to understand, my mother's mother died, my grandmother, when my mother was 13.
Mm-hmm.
So they put her in a Catholic boarding school.
Wow.
So, and my mother was very, very Catholic, so I grew up under those rules too. But she's, even in that staunch Catholicism, she always said prayer. Her solution to any problem was take a hot bath, eat your dinner, take a hot bath, say your prayers, go to bed, you'll be all right in the morning. And really, it was all right in the morning.
Always all right in the morning. Isn't that amazing?
But it's just something about a mother's love that is just undying in most cases. And I don't care what happens. You know, I miss my mother. I miss her squinting her eyes, which was, they talked with their eyes at that time. My mother definitely, you knew when you was violating or not doing something right because she gave me.
Look at those eyes. Yeah. Now tell me, how many siblings did you have again? How many siblings did you have again?
I had two brothers. I was the oldest and the oldest only girl. And,
the only girl. So you got to be a princess. Okay. Yeah, those pretty.
I was spoiled, and I'm working on that in my life today as a grown woman. My mother, she did. You know, she didn't just buy me one outfit; she bought two in case I didn't like the other one.
Well, yeah, yeah, I know about that piece. Being, being the only girl. I was the only child, so there is something there. I understand that piece, but yeah, and so I let me see what else I want to know about your mother. So did she speak the Creole language too? I mean, because there's a different. I mean, you got French and you got something else and something else in there that makes it Creole. So,
well, we did speak. My mother spoke some Creole. They did. My father did. As we got older and moved to Chicago, they only spoke it among each other. But there is another dialect from the Creole language. It's like the this and the that, and we gonna go there, yeah. We gonna do this, yeah. And when I go to New Orleans or get with my cousin, all of that come out, you see. And then he said,
"Oh yeah,
like yes, I'm talking it right now. Huh? Did you hear what I said? You heard what I said, huh?" That is
oh yeah. So yeah, what was your favorite things around Christmas time? Because mothers always make magic for Easter, especially if you're Catholic. You're gonna get this. There's a whole ritual, but what was some of your favorite Christmas that she made special for you?
My mother, it wasn't the cookies; it was the butter pound cake. And she would put she'd make this lemon drizzle sauce. And that would go, it wasn't a frosting. She called it an icing, ISING. And it was thin. And that was the best, And the other great thing that she used to do with me and my brothers, we would make wreaths out of wire hangers. She would get this big box of little hard candies, those Christmas candies.
Oh yeah.
And we would put them around the wreath, and we get to hang our wreaths on the outside door.
Wow.
That was Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas. Oh yeah. So this is Yeah.
Let alone all the food,
Yeah, and how old was your mother when she passed into the other world?
She was 78.
78. Oh, wow. Bless her heart. And how many siblings did she have?
She had 4. She had 3 sisters and 1 brother. And all of them, they were all very, very close. As a matter of fact, I'm going to our family reunion in a couple of weeks in Michigan, and we are the siblings. Yeah, we are the children of them, her sisters and her brother.
Wow. Yeah. It's always fun to hear people who grew up in a large family. I didn't grow up in a large family.
We grew up more like brothers and sisters than first cousins.
Right.
Yeah,
I had one cousin that I grew up with. Yeah, well, hey, this is one. And what was her favorite song? I mean, we got a couple more minutes here. What was her favorite song? Or did she have lots of songs she liked?
She had lots of songs, but I know that she really liked Nancy Wilson.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yes, there was another lady named Gloria Lynn, and she made the song "I Wish You Love."
Okay. Oh, I've heard that song before.
Like Motown. She was at Motown too,
Right,
yeah.
right. I remember that song, "I Wish You Love." Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so before she passed, she was your children, your girls spent some time with her, right?
Oh yeah, she was. My granddaughters knew her. They got to know their great grandmother. When she died, my granddaughters were like about 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So they got to know her. So that was their great grandmother. So yeah, she was close to her grandkids. She only had 4, which was my 3 and my daughter.
Wow. Yeah, well, mothers are so important. I mean, really and truly. They go beyond the call of duty. They do. They stay up late and they try to make things good for us and the best they can. So yes. Yeah, well, I thank you for coming on, and giving a little cameo cameo about your mother and what she meant to you, and all of that. So yeah, this is good. This is good. So what would be the last thing that you would want to say about your mother?
I think the last thing I would like to say is that with my mother is that I love you even in death, and that I would encourage everyone to spend as much time as you can with your mother, because even when you think you're prepared for them to move on and it happens, you're not. And I don't care what it is. I thought I was prepared, and she and I talked about it, but when it happened, it was like, what happened? Wake
Right.
up.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would say cherish those moments for those who have a relationship, cherish them for those who don't get a relationship with your mother.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree. Get one. Yes, that's right. Because that's the womb that bore you. Without that womb, you wouldn't be here.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
That's it. And everything you wanted to say, you didn't say. You regret it in your life. I always say I'm so grateful that I had the honor to take care of my mother.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yeah, that is an honor. You know, I really cherish that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the Mother's Justice Show to be part of our Mother's Day show, and this is also a podcast later on. So thank you so much, Dr. Orisiade, for being on my show,
Yes.
we'll talk to you next time. We're gonna take a break right now. You listen to Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Let angels and Reiki and the search for mystical knowledge become a regular part of your routine Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. Loretta Brown, owner of Reiki Oasis, Reiki Master Teacher, an angel messenger, and healing musician, all wrapped into one as she uses her voice to share knowledge of great mysteries, energetic laws, and messages of love from the divine. Join her and her show every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. to open your heart and heal your soul. Visit ReikiOasis.com for more information about her show.
Giving local voices a chance to shine. Alternative Talk 1150.
Yes. Oh, man. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. This is one of my favorite songs. Thank you so much, Eric. It's Mother's Day week coming up here, and I tell everybody Mother's Day is every day. I mean, I'm glad we got one day to talk about it, but and to be nice to Mother. But I'm going to bring my next guest on. She's a long-time supporter of Mother's Police Accountability. Been supporting us, and then the Marcus Garvey Book Club. I'm going to bring on Miss Linda Battles. She's been born and raised here in Seattle. How you doing, Linda?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Yeah. It's so nice to have you on my show. You know, we've been knowing each other a long time. And I just thought I'd ask you to talk about your mother. I know that she's recently passed in the spirit, but I know you have a lot of good stories and a lot of memories. Of course, love is forever. No matter if they're here in the body or if they're on the other side of the veil, the love does not stop for our parents, for our mothers and fathers. So welcome, Linda. And tell us what your mother's name is or was, however you want to say that. Was your mother's name?
My mother's name was Etta Mae Singleton. Etta Mae Ray Singleton.
Okay.
And they came from Arkansas. Her father was in Arkansas. She was conceived in Arkansas, but they moved to Monroe, Louisiana when she was in her mother's womb.
Okay.
And so I don't know where to begin other than to say she was an extraordinary woman. She left Seattle in the 60s and moved on an island in Alaska. She didn't want no parts of Alaska. By her being a city girl, she didn't want no parts of Alaska, much less an island. But my brother had gotten into some trouble as a teen, and as soon as he was sent home, she about a week later she left Seattle.
Okay.
Mainly to keep her sons out of trouble.
Right.
And so she lived there almost 50 years.
Wow.
And
right.
She ended up returning to Seattle because she was going to live and finish her life out there, and be buried next to her husband.
Oh, yeah.
But my granddaughter at 4 years old came down with cancer, stage 4 cancer at 4 years old.
Okay.
And my mother said, "I'm coming home." So she came, in 2000, I believe it was 18. And so she passed away March the 5th at around noon. And when they called me to tell me she had passed, I was on my way to her then, but I had made a little pit stop.
But I know you went to see her every day, Linda. That's why I wanted you on here, because I want you to know what a gift it is to know you, and also the energy and the love that you had, because you went to see your mother every day, because I know that for a fact. I mean, she lived out in Renton.
As long as the wheels was turning.
That's what you did. I mean, it's like there ain't no mountain too high.
That's right. That's right.
And it is a dedication and it's a love, Linda. And I just honor you. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate the heart that you have. You have such a loving heart.
Thank the Lord for having so many community mothers such as you. Yes.
Well, what year was your mother born?
My mother was born August the 16th, 1928.
Okay, just the day after, a day before Marcus Garvey. August 17th is Marcus Garvey.
She celebrated her birthday on the 16th and the 17th because I guess the midwife said she was born on the 16th, but her sister, who was like 20 years older, said no, you were born on the 17th.
Okay, so she got a little Garvey there.
She may have been. It was confusing because she was born after midnight.
Oh, okay.
Which made it a whole other new day. But anyway, we had fun with that, celebrating it on the 16th and the 17th.
Mm-hmm. So, how many siblings did your mother have?
She had 2 brothers, and one of them was your neighbor.
Oh, okay, that's right. When I lived in the valley. Okay.
Yeah, one sister. Yeah, she was the baby.
She was the baby. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
you're right.
Anyway,
and then how many children? How many children did your mother have?
There's 3.
3.
Okay. 2 sons and myself.
That's right. And you're the only daughter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
One brother a year older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And me, and then my younger brother Ronnie. He passed on.
Right. Well, bless his heart.
2020.
So we're gonna not have a few more minutes here. But Linda, tell me, what was the best food that your mother that you just love your mother to cook for you?
Well, see, my mother, when she went to that island, she cooked her way into those the community. She was really beloved there for her gumbo. She had the Eskimos.
Oh, a gumbo.
She had the Eskimos eating gumbo. She introduced gumbo to Alaska. The island up there.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and she baked wonderful cakes and pies.
Yeah,
she was a wonderful cook. And she even did French cooking because some of the chefs that she worked with up there did various cooking from different countries, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Russia,
Yeah. Wow.
France, all over.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, this is lovely, Linda. You're a lovely person, and I'm sure you have a lot of your mother's heart, and that you do so much good work in this community. I mean, you make sure that people have or call them up to see if they need anything, and you have a heart of a daughter. And I just wanted to have you on just to let the community know what a loving person you are, and that you were there with your mother. And I'm just so grateful to know you, Linda, and all that you put out in this community. And I want to wish you happy Mother's Day. You got some children and some grandchildren, and you are a great grandmother, so you go ahead.
And you as well. And I want to mention my mentor and a woman that was like a mother to me, Annie Jones.
Oh, I know Annie Jones. I remember Annie Jones. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Annie Jones, and thank you so much.
Under her wing.
Yeah,
and,
yes.
Was a mentor to me, and I was blessed to see her before she passed away.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Linda.
I'm in touch with her daughter. Anyway, do I have time to read a poem real quick?
No, we're out of time, Linda. I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted to read a poem. We would have done that in the beginning had I known that.
Okay.
But you can send it to me, and I can get it read next time.
Thank you for this opportunity, and hopefully we'll get a chance to share.
Okay, we will.
Later.
I'll reach out to you. All right, thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day to you all.
Well, happy Mother's Day to you, too. You've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden, and I'll be back next week. That's the Monday after Mother's Day. All right, take care. Take care of your moms, okay? And your grandmothers and your aunties, all the big mamas. All right, thank you. See you next time. Thank you, Eric.